Hello everyone, JR Wasabi here. In the next few minutes, I will be teaching you how to play Syndicate in set 14. When the Syndicate trait is active, all Syndicate units gain health and damage amp. On top of that, 3 and 5 Syndicate grants 1 and 2 Kingpin hats respectively. These hats that look like the icon here will appear in your items, and you can activate bonus effects on the Syndicate units by using the Kingpin hats on them, similar to how Experiment units from last set gain bonus effect when placed on Experiment hexes. Each hat can only be used on one Syndicate unit, but can be changed every round by reusing it on different units. At 7 Syndicate, still only 2 Kingpin hats are granted, but the ability modifiers are upgraded even further, which I will explain more later on. Syndicate is typically played as a reroll comp with Shaco or Twisted Fate as the carry. Shaco reroll is not so popular right now, given that the unit had been nerfed multiple times during PBE testing. Syndicate can also be played as a splash trait when the main carry is a Syndicate unit like Miss Fortune in the Nitro Dynamo comp. For this guide, I will be focusing on the TF reroll comp since it is a very popular comp right now that is centered on the most Syndicate units. I will be going through the abilities of the 3 Syndicate units that are used as carries the most. Shaco has a straightforward ability that deals physical damage to the target. With the Kingpin hat, he teleports to the lowest health enemy within 4 hexes and deal bonus damage to them. Coupled with his passive effect of gaining AD for every kill in the game, mid to late game 3-star Shaco can easily one-shot backline units before you can see it coming. At 7 Syndicate, the upgraded Kingpin effect makes him cast his skill again with 90% effectiveness if he kills a unit, and it's potentially a crazy combo if his damage is high enough to continually snipe backline units. However, this has been harder to achieve with his AD being nerfed again and again. They will probably buff him in future since his reroll play rate is pretty low right now. Twisted Fate throws a card at the current and next nearest target to deal magic damage. With the Kingpin hat, he throws enhanced cards with 1 out of 3 special effects like AoE damage, true damage, or even dropping gold. His passive effect grants AP every attack he makes, which is why Guinsoo and Gunblade are so important on him. When he scales into the fight, he can deal loads of damage while keeping his front line alive. At 7 Syndicate, he throws all 3 cards instead of just 1, spiking his damage very high. Similar to a League of Legends ultimate, Miss Fortune fires bullet waves towards the largest clump of enemies. This ultimate rarely misses, unlike your games in League of Legends. However, her Kingpin bonus just fires more waves, while the upgraded bonus gives the bullet waves extra piercing damage. This is why the Kingpin hat is usually given to Darius instead of Miss Fortune, unless you severely lack damage. So, for your early game in stage 1 and 2, you should look to play Syndicate TF reroll if you are in a good spot for it, such as having a Bruiser and Rapid Fire opener. Given that TF is your main carry, you will need a Guinsoo Rageblade. It is a must-have due to its passive, and if you have it at the start, it is already half the battle won, especially if you got TF from the stage 1 ops. With the correct item, you can force this comp by holding Syndicate units as they appear in stage 1 and 2. At level 5, you should have the Syndicate trait active with the Kingpin hat on TF. Arriving in the mid-game for stage 3, you should look to stabilize your comp with at least a 2-star TF and 2-star Darius. Since this is a 2-cost reroll comp, stay at level 6 and roll above 50 gold in order to collect TF, Darius, and Skarner to 3-star all of them. However, the priority is to 3-star TF, followed by Darius, and then Skarner if you can. While rolling, you should be able to find 2-star Braum and Gragas as well. Item-wise, prioritize 2 Guinsoos off the carousel if possible, along with a Gunblade. Make your Gunblade before the second Guinsoo. If you cannot get a second Guinsoo, generic attack speed or damage items like Raid Buff and Guard Breaker works as well. Your units should be 3-star, by stage 4-7 ideally, at least for Twisted Fate. Else, you should be donkey rolling after that, which means rolling down to 0 gold every turn to find at least your 3-star TF. Thereafter, go to level 8 to put in 5 Syndicate with Misfortune and Shackle. Give the second Kingpin hat to Darius since he is likely to be 3-star as well, which increases his tankiness as his ability will provide more durability and healing. 5 Syndicate in general also makes all your Syndicate units tankier and deal more damage as well. This board typically caps at level 8 or 9 as a lot of gold needs to be spent in order to upgrade your units to 3-star. Cap out your board further with Aurora that can also activate Dynamo for your whole board too, allowing for TF and Misfortune to cast more often. If you have a Syndicate emblem that can be formed from a cloak and a spat, you can then drop Shackle since it does not provide much value to this board other than being a trade bot. Give the Syndicate emblem to Skarner if it is 3-star or other 5-cost units. Priority will be to feed Kobuko and Cho'Gath into your board for 4 bruises. This allows your backline rapid-fire TF to scale longer into the fight. You can also replace your lower-cost rapid-fire units like Kog'Maw with better ones like Zeri 2-star. Do note that if you get a 2 Syndicate emblems, you should play 7 Syndicate as it is very strong. Shackle will be needed in that case, but your Kingpin hats will stay put on TF and Darius. Last but not least are the augments you can take for this comp. Obviously, you can go for the Syndicate emblem as it helps you to reach 5 Syndicate at level 7 instead of level 8, and can be very useful since reroll comps can take a while to reach higher levels in order to cap out their comp. Alternatively, you can play this if you have Boombot emblem. Boombot emblem works well with Guinsoo users like Twisted Fate since the Boombot rocket damage scales hard with the damage dealt by Guinsoo users. You can also consider playing more Boombot units like Kog'Maw and Cho'Gath into the comp if that is the case. Artifact augments like Portable Forge are also good since this comp can spike really hard with their best in slot artifacts such as Gambler's Blade, Luden's Tempest, and Wit's End for Twisted Fate. Reroll augments like Too Much Value can also help with reaching your 3-star 2-cost units earlier, as well as Prismatic Ticket and Pandora's Bench. Item augments like Pandora's Items and Component Buffet are also useful since it can be very difficult to get 2 Guinsoo and a Gunblade for Twisted Fate since there are many repeated components involved in building these items. Bronze for Life is a good augment to take since this comp plays with several bronze traits other than the vertical syndicate itself. Lastly, if you get worth the wait 2 into Twisted Fate in particular, you should not roll at level 6 for 3-star Darius and Skarner. Instead, level with this augment tempo and have a free 3-star TF to go for higher levels and slot in higher quality units like Kobuko, Leona, and Aurora while keeping your 5 Syndicate in, like how it is shown here in the picture. You are absolutely awesome if you have reached the end of this guide, and I hope you have learned something from this video. If you find this video useful, I greatly appreciate if you can like the video and subscribe to my channel for more guides and gameplay videos. See you again, bye bye!